Welcome to Tuesday Truth. I'm Andrew, your host, and today we're diving into the most powerful moments from this week's conversation with this week's amazing, inspiring guest. These are clips, but they're also insights that'll change how you see your own journey. So let's get right into it. Before we dive in, I want to give a big, massive shout out to our now new proud sponsor, Eshu Skincare, a brand that truly aligns with leading our own way. This Australian-born company is dedicated to keeping skincare simple, effective, and straightforward. They've made waves in the US, even landed in Macy's and over 300 stores, and now they're back with a renewed focus on healthy skin and real results. If you want authentic skincare that fits your lifestyle, check them out in the show notes. Thanks to Eshu Skincare for supporting real stories and mental fitness on leading our own way. And if you're interested in sponsoring like Eshu Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to connect. I do feel we have to go through things, don't we? And you mentioned at the beginning part of your journey of where you began growing up in South Central. Let's go back to your childhood in South Central then and where life began, because I mean, I knew that part of your journey already, but as I mentioned before in the pre-chat, when we do discuss, I don't want to know too much because I want my reactions to be authentic. But even when you said at the beginning of this episode, my heart, like it pulls it, doesn't it? It's quite, you can't imagine. I can't imagine what you've been through. You mentioned that your parents gave you up due to the bone disease that you were born. Was you born with the bone disease?
Yeah. So
what's it called?
Osgood Slatters. So I had these big, protruding little spurs around my knees. The doctors pretty much knew that there was going to be major problems, and I guess when I was adopted, at around 10, my parents actually told me the full story, and they had these letters from my biological parents who knew where I was and gave a pseudo explanation for why they did what they did. No return address, so you couldn't write back or anything. And in it, my parents let me know that my dad was playing baseball somewhere and didn't want to have a child. Basically, he just wanted to focus on baseball, and I was going to be a burden. So that's why they, so my whole life, my biological parents actually knew where I was the whole time. And there'd be times when I would be on a bus or somewhere and I'd see someone who was tall, maybe looked like me, and I would actually want to go over to this person and say, hey, are you my dad? Like it was, and because my parents who adopted me, they were in their late 40s when they adopted me. So by the time I got to junior high and high school, all the kids were like, why are your grandparents bringing you to school or at the games? Where's your mom and your dad? So it was, and kids could be cruel. And particularly back then, it was pretty tough for me and I didn't want to tell anybody. It was like my little dirty little secret, and I felt like the weight of the world. And I got to the point where I was ashamed of them to come around because they were so old. It broke my heart because I know they loved me, but I was ashamed that they were there because everybody else's parents were so young, and sometimes their dads would get on the court and run around, and my dad couldn't. Like it was just one of those things where I always felt like I was an outsider, looking in, and like I was never going to be the one on the inside. It was pretty tough, and at a very early age, my cousin and I had played a basketball game, and we went to this place called Golden Bird Chicken, and my dad was buying dinner for us because we just played a basketball game, and we were standing outside, and we were so happy because we won the game, and the police came up to us and pulled out their guns and threw us on the ground, and basically it was like, what are you guys doing? You trying to rob the place? And my father ran out and said, hey, what are you doing? Those are my boys. And then they picked us up, and my dad said, hey, they just won a basketball game. They're going to go to college. And the police just looked at him and started laughing and said, they're never going anywhere. You know, like, you know, they're gonna be hoodlums, they're gonna be druggies, they're gonna be gangsters. And you know, and my dad cried because, you know, he felt that he was doing everything he possibly could to give us a night to celebrate what we have just done. And now the police are telling us that we're wasting our time. And that's always stood in my mind as there will always be someone, whether it's the police, whether it's a coach, a teacher, an employer, or whatever, will never ever see the goodness and the greatness of you. You're going to be judged. There'll be a perception against you. And I thought, if I ever got into a position where I had some influence as a coach or as a teacher or whatever, I was always going to lift people up despite their race, their religion, no matter what's going on with them. I'm always choosing to look at the best of them. And so that's another reason why when I look at my life, I think, man, I came this close to never getting out.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, there were some games when the referee would call a foul on me. Clearly wasn't a foul. But for me, it was a personal vendetta because of whatever. You know, a coach would pull me out of a game. Like, for me, it was like, I'm just starting to get, like, anything could just set me off. And I didn't really like how my emotions could be like how my emotion could go from 0 to 100 just like that. And it got to the point sometimes when if I wasn't shooting well, I would even stop shooting because I didn't want to miss. Like, there was just so much going on with me, and I couldn't articulate that to anyone because no one could understand what I had been through, and because I know they hadn't been through the things that I had. So I was carrying this all on my own, you know. And I did go and try to see a doctor once, and first thing he wanted to do was give me drugs. And I was you know what? So I just tried to deal with it the best I could.
I was going to ask, did you ever open up, other than a doctor, did you open up to any friends?
No, well, because remember, that would be admitting weakness. And here I am, I've got to be strong. Now I'm supposed to be the one that has it all together. And you and I both know now that the worst thing you can do is hold things in, because as long as you hold them in, the wider it takes over every aspect of your being. And so I can remember 4 or 5 nights in a row I got no sleep, because every time I closed my eyes, I was seeing myself as a failure, and then trying to get up and go to practice. Like, it was hard, you know. It was really hard.
What lengths of I mean, look, you've never mentioned these. I'm just trying to picture the depth of where you went to in a depression state. Did you ever think of harming yourself or quitting basketball? What length were you willing to go to stop the pain?
Well, because by my 4th year in, that's when the knee surgery started. So I want you to think about this. Mentally, wasn't good. Physically, knee pain and surgery. And playing for the Melbourne Tigers, Andrew and I both played the same position. We both were shooting guard. So my court time had diminished. So now I was sitting on the bench feeling like I should be on the court, but you know, it wasn't happening. So everything for me at that point was, that's it, I'm done. But then I had a daughter, and I just couldn't fathom me not giving my daughter the opportunity to have a much better life. That was the thing that stopped me from quitting basketball. So I hung in there, and I hung in there, and I hung in there all the way to the bitter end until my knees gave away, and then it was like, okay, what's the next challenge? What's the next thing you do? And whatever that is, let it be something that's going to fill your soul. something that you're doing because you absolutely love it, and it's not dependent on someone else dictating you the terms of how you do it.
Yeah,
that
right.
to me was a
absolutely.
challenge. Yeah.
What is resilience to you then, Eric? What's the definition of resilience for you?
I think the definition of resilience for me is having the attitude to understand that there will be dark days. And because there are dark days, look forward for defeating the darkness with light that you can provide to yourself and to other people around you. So coming from South Central Los Angeles, so much darkness, so much negativity. I had to find a way to be resilient enough to look at what I was going through and actually saying, I am going to turn these obstacles into an opportunity. Resilience is being able to turn negativity, turn challenges, turn pitfalls, turn that into an opportunity where you can elevate your life and the people around you. And so resilience for me each day is getting up every day and embracing that I have an opportunity today to change someone's life. And that's powerful. And I don't care if you're a CEO, you're a director, a sales manager, an HR manager, no matter what your title, you are in a position to help someone else. But before you can do that, you have to have the power and the passion within yourself to realize that you were put on this planet to do something more than just be average. Average thinking produces average results. So with me, it's like, I have to do it. I have to do it. I have a saying that I say to everyone, is be memorable. Don't just show up, show out. Leave your mark, leave your imprint in everything that you do. And by doing that, legacy building, baby, legacy building. You have kids at home, let them see you stepping up. Let them see you making the most out of every opportunity. That's what resilience is.
Absolutely. Getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I had no business at all, me, with bad knees, doctors saying I'll never play sport. I had no business graduating from high school, going to college, playing professional basketball. I had no business becoming a motivational speaker. I didn't graduate from college. I was very bad in reading. I had no business stepping into a CEO role of a restoration company, and I didn't even know what dehumidifier was or any of the machine. I had no business doing any of that, but I wanted to be uncomfortable enough to go in and admit, I don't know, but I will learn. And because of that, this is a result of that.
Transformation. If you're watching this before Wednesday, part 1 dropped yesterday and part 2 releases tomorrow. But if you're already here after Wednesday, all parts are available now. Head to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and every other major platform and look for the numbers on the bottom left-hand corner of the episode's covers to start with part 1. Trust me, you don't want to miss this incredible journey.